Hi, my name is Sal Tinajero, and I am the CEO of Advantage Communications. As students progress through their educational endeavors in speech and debate, you'll notice that speeches in the elementary level are a little fluffy, they're happy-go-lucky, for the most part. When you go to middle school, now you have to talk about more socially significant topics, things that are a little edgier. When you get to high school, it's expected that you're talking about real-life issues that are happening here, along with trauma that happens to certain groups of people because of society and the issues in society. I recommend to parents, if you have youngsters that are below the middle school age, please take a look at this show before you show it to them or before you allow them to watch. Otherwise, I hope this is an educational vessel for all of you to see how you perform at the highest level. Listen to the judges, listen to the commentators, because they're all national champions who are trying to help you win. All right, welcome back to Figures of Speech. I'm excited today, Miss Sarah.
I'm so excited.
We have a final round. A few months ago, back in December, we had a lot of teams that went out to Bradley University in Peoria, Illinois, and competed at the Armstrong tournament, the George Armstrong tournament. And what we had was 3 of the people that finished in the top 3 were from Santa Ana Unified. One student is from Middle College High School, another one is from defending national champion Santa Ana High School, and the other one is from Century High School. So I'm excited to see these 3.
Excited.
What are you thinking?
These students have grown so much. I've worked with them since when they started, and now they're all in high school, my babies.
No, they're in high school and about to graduate, some of these.
Stop.
So these young ladies they've had much success throughout their careers in speech. I'm sure they're going to get picked up by a college team with no problem.
No doubt.
But let's just get started. Let's start our round off with our first competitor, and she comes from Middle College High School, and that is Miss Ashley Andrade. Take it away, Ash.
Y aunque la vida me cueste llorona, no dejaré de quererte. La Llorona sees the man she loves drive by in a carriage with his new love, and is driven to drown her children by him. La Llorona cries, "Ay, mis hijos!" and Mexican children are told that on cold and windy nights, you can hear her voice, and they must be careful and get to bed early, or she will get them. The elementary school I attended sits on top of a hill overlooking a canyon, less than 5 miles from the U.S. Mexico
and you're wondering
International
what
border.
book text should look like, that was a
We were
wonderful
not
page
raised
turn.
respecting
It was sharp, it was
the Border
clean. I'm
Patrol
sure she's going to show it
agents,
again. We'll be
which is-
able to reinforce it.
Yep.
cruise our streets. But to fear them, did I ever tell you about those nightmares? About how I heard about La Llorona. She came to me in a dream, weeping, screeching, and clawing out her eyes and shrieking, "Ayúdame!"
All
For
right, talk to us
centuries,
now.
the chilling tale of La Llorona, the wailing woman, has been used to discipline children and to warn them of the dangers of a scorned woman. Most versions
Can you say
recount the
that
woman
again?
Her
whose
timing
jealousy
is
caused her
so
to kill her
great.
children and then
Page
herself.
turns,
And is
the
now
time
doomed to
going
wander the world
in and
searching
out
for
of the, oh, yeah.
Doing anything
And
she
some
finds
people
with
get
her
nervous
love.
of silence.
However,
and it's okay to have
while
that
we often
silence, to have
demonize
that
La
timing.
Llorona, there are other accounts as
necessary.
Yeah,
well.
let's see what she
Of
does
an
at the end of
indigenous
her
woman
teaser
forced
to
by
see how she
conquerors to
opens it
kill
back
her
up.
children, or whose children were taken from her, or a woman fleeing violence, whose children died on their journey to freedom. But we like to pretend it's just a story. The reality of the wailing woman exists right at our own border. Time magazine investigated Customs and Border Patrol detention centers and reported that there were 69,550 children in custody. And in the detention centers, 47 people died, including 8 children. We not only tell the story of La Llorona, but with the deplorable treatment of those who are just trying to find a better life, we are creating her. So with the prose, the grief of La Llorona by Susa Silver Murray, the poetry, La Llorona by Belibi, the articles, behind the myths of a scorned woman, Medea, La Llorona by
when
the
it
Press
comes to
Telegraph,
listing your
La Llorona,
authors,
El
I
Cucuy,
still
La
think
Migra,
you have to be
learning
a
who the
little
real
bit
monsters
different
are by
every time
Vanessa
and
Lopez.
slow down. This is the
And At the
literature
Border,
you're
My Son
talking
was
about.
taken from me by Miriam G. And the song, La Llorona by Alana Ubach and Antonio Sol, a program. Because the real terror is not La Llorona, but the reason she weeps. Ay, mis hijos, easy for mother to grasp La Llorona, despite each mean version in the myth of her motives for killing her children. Every mother gives her children up. The child for whom she would give her life can never be retrieved from the river of time. Every mother
Good.
becomes a woman in white, endlessly crying, ay, mis hijos. I came to the United States on February 20th, 2018
It's a dope
to
transition.
seek political asylum.
Can you explain why that's so important? What
I
just
felt
happened
a
right there?
fear
The
rising in my
transition,
throat.
for one,
I have
it's
fled my
repetitive.
home
You've
country
heard
of
that
Honduras
already.
with
So for
my
one, picking a
18-month-old
transition that you've
son.
already been introduced to
Right.
is really great to keep your
After
audience
government
engaged. You're like,
violence
okay, this is the
threatened our
second time
lives.
it's come up, right? And to not just have a page turn,
Now,
because
with
what you
my
really
baby in
want
my
in POI,
arms,
in programs, is you want a
was
variety
approaching
of
a
page
US
turns
port
in
of
your
entry
pacing and in what
to
you
seek
do to get
refuge.
in and out of
In the
those
playground, you
pages.
can hear kids yelling, corre, corre, la mira, as everyone would take off running from the person who was it.
The only thing right
Immigration
there
and
in that
Customs
page turn
Enforcement
that
Officer.
I don't quite like is that you still have to
These
make
gangs
contact.
seemed
When you go to
innocent
NSDA,
as
if
children.
you don't make that
We
contact,
spent that
there's
night in a
some
facility.
judges in different parts of the country
It would be
who
the
might
last
mark you
night
down for that.
my
So
son
just
would
to be
be
on
in
the
my
safe
arms.
side, I would say just take a quick glance.
And
So
she
that-
picks it up kind of in
Oh, she
that,
picks that,
in that
beautiful.
one.
Woke up
Yeah,
the
she
next
did it. She
morning.
kind of picked it up again. So that was
Immigration
good, but
officers
yes.
brought us outside. There were 2 government cars
visualization.
waiting. The dreams are gone now. Or rather, the nightmares. There are some things more haunting in reality. La Migra was synonymous with scary beings like La Llorona, who could easily take us away from our families. Ten cuidado, La Migra te va a llevar. The fact that history is repeating itself in a far more escalated fashion speaks in the nature in which children are now being raised. La Migra is no longer a threat given by parents to scare them into behaving, but a genuine caution and source of fear from our children. Ay, mis hijos! I said I would be going to one place, and that my son would be going to another. No, I asked why. Why repeatedly, but they didn't give me a reason. My son started crying without giving me a moment to comfort him. The officer shut the door.
Look at her breathing.
I could barely move.
For
That
kids
was
who say,
beautiful.
how do I can't make myself cry. It's a physical
Or
thing
think.
that happens. It's how you
Knowing
breathe,
that
it's
my
when you
son
swallow. And it's not about
has never
wanting to
spent
cry.
time
It's
without me
wanting
before.
to act like you're trying to stop yourself
And
from
now he
crying.
was alone
Because that's what we do in real life. We try to stop
in a
ourselves from
separate
crying.
government facility. If you see her weeping under the tamarind tree, the grieving mother, knowing her haunting comes from being haunted, I too wander the riverbanks and notice every child who reminds me of the beautiful boy who vanished.
She's grown so much in doing
Every mother like you
so
don't.
much forward.
Every
Yes.
mother gives
Because
her
I feel
children
like a
up,
lot
but
of
those
kids,
who are
when they
ripped in
get
their
into
arms at
internship, they do
borders
a lot
where
of
they
their
are
blocking out,
deemed
but she's giving
illegal,
us
those
so
whose
much
children
forward.
flee to find a better
Yep.
life, those whose children ride the beast train, their mothers never even knowing if their children live or if their children die, not even the tears of La Llorona. The vast as all oceans can plumb the depth of grief that these mothers suffer. Am I La Llorona? A wailing woman? Because that's all I ever seem to do. I am proof. The parents who are legally seeking asylum are being taken away from their children for seemingly no reason. My heart goes out to the mothers who still ache for their children. I pray that they encounter people like the women in the detention facilities. In the face of such cruelty, it made all the difference. Every mother gives her children up, but these, whose children gone to ghosts, these are the mothers who show us today the face of La Llorona's haunted loss.
Good eyes, good eyes.
Y aunque la vida me cueste, Llorona, no dejaré de quererte.
Good job, good job. So what did you think about her performance?
I thought it was moving, and I thought her transitions were really, really clean and really unique. And one of my favorite things is I love that she gave us so much blocking and eye contact. Everything was so forward, and it's really engaging for your audience, whether you're in person or virtuals. I thought that was brilliant.
And I think that when she goes live, the eyes, she really connects with her audience with the eyes.
Yes.
It's very important for a lot of, especially new speech students. They tend to look at foreheads, look at the eyes. Because if you're looking at eyes, even the person over here is going to feel it.
Yeah.
Right? It's the energy that you create with your audience. I think she did a great job. It's amazing she's only a sophomore. She's only a sophomore, so she has more growth. Obviously, she's still developing.
Right.
I think I would have liked to seen her slow down her titles and authors, and have a little more passion with each one. I thought she was very clean. I think you guys have done a great job as far as how clean she's become, and I think she's learned how to use that camera too.
Yes.
For those async tournaments and those virtual tournaments.
You can tell.
Great job. So she's already waiting in the other studio. So let's go ahead and have another interview with her, with Ashley, over in the other studio. Then we'll be back. We'll be right back with speaker number 2.
Fantastic job, Mija. When you think about that performance, what is your most favorite part?
My favorite part is honestly the climax, where I talk about the grieving mothers and the temperature and all that, because it's such a fun thing to perform, but it's also so touching because it's the reality for so many women. And I honestly am so thankful that I have the privilege to honor those mothers.
Any improvements you want to do?
I want to really portray the character of La Llorona and these mothers and the cruelty that they have to go through. And although it's like so exhausting emotionally for so many women and for me, it's something that I really want to improve on.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All right, we're back. We're ready for our second speaker. What do you think, Miss Sarah?
Say hi. Yes, I can't wait to see her. So amazing, and has really been a standout performer from when she started. And now she's in her senior year, her prime time. I can't wait. I'm on the edge of my seat.
No, and she's one of the top speakers in the state of California. She finished second in the state last year in DI and finished fourth in the nation at NSDA. So we're very, very proud. Let's see what she can do. Take it away, Destiny. You're in with some good competition today.
Eternal return, also known as eternal reoccurrence, is a concept that the universe and all of existence has been reoccurring and will continue to reoccur in a self-similar form through infinite number of times, through infinite time or space. The conquistadores often devise ways to make the demise of native people as elaborate and as painful as possible, such as the brutal murdering and drowning of children, taking advantage of women, torture customs,
Good tech.
and much more too gruesome practices for this platform. Last year alone, ICE exhibited patterns of sexual abuse, forced sterilization, solitary confinement, increased use of force, and a neglect failure to protect people from COVID-19. Standing above the dirt and the barbed wires, the faces crosses lay across its rusty surface. At the shore Tabasco, 1519, La Leyenda de la Pared, the legend of the wall, begins that those who arrived wearing silver skin and enslaved the aboriginals, and those brought on cargo ships that created a system where the deeper the melanin, the deeper the slashes, and engraved pain into the minds of their kin. Oral diseases such as smallpox, measles, typhus, and chickenpox decimated native populations and reduced workforces to unsustainable levels. We begin tonight with breaking news. As the COVID-19 pandemic rages on all across the country, Latino farm workers are bearing the brunt of the pandemic, being forced to work in the agricultural industry, sacrificing their lives for our food. Tezcatlipoca.
Is she
As to
blowing
God
into
of
her
the
book?
night
Yeah,
sky.
you can't
and of
hear it, but in
sorcery.
person you can hear it.
Okay.
In his chest he holds a mirror in which he sees everything
like that.
invisible
Look
and
at that
omnipresent.
sharpness, everybody.
Yeah.
Alongside
You-
his
you
brother
want-
Quetzalcoatl,
everything is sharp. Everything
they
is-
created
is-
the
is
world which
motioned,
has
it's
gone
well
through a
rehearsed, it's
series
well
of
practiced,
4
and it looks
cycles
clean.
Yeah.
or suns, each of them meeting the same turbulent end. We are now in the 5th sun. First it off
Now,
in the
Sarah,
late
what do you
1900s.
think about that?
The theory of
Because
eternal
I
return
saw
is
her
a
script.
scientific one
Mm-hmm.
that
So I
describes
don't
that the
know if I wanna
universe
see
and
her
all of
script when she opens
existence
up her book
has
like that.
spontaneous
You know, I
endings.
think if she
The premise
levels
being
it more, it'll
that
be
the
cool.
things that happen will always
I know
continue to happen.
we'll be able to
Since
see
the
the
Spanish
blocking a little
conquest
bit
in the late
more on like kind of how
1500s,
she
the
does that and why
Aeronaut
she wants
Menias
everything
de
connected.
Frontera
If she
has
levels
bear
it, I think
witness
it
to
might be
some
a
of the
tiny
most
bit
horrific
better.
crimes
What
that are
I'm
still occurring
interested to
today.
see is when she lists her
Conquistadores in the
titles and
1500s
authors, see how
employed
she does
ICE
it.
Yep.
with its gross abuse of those along the Texas-Mexico border. This program argues that in this cycle of repeated
Wow.
violence, oppression, and terror, there must be an end. Because it isn't enough to say that those that forget history are doomed to repeat it. We are the history that continually repeats upon us. So through the poetry, At the Wall, U.S.-Mexican Border, Texas 2020, Paula Gonzalez and Gala Gutierrez, Prose, Stories of the Farm Work During COVID-19 by the LA Times 2021, Stories of the Whistleblowers, NPR's News
See,
2016, articles,
they're all
Columbus
doing
Confusion
this.
of the New World
So
by Smith
what you do now is you coach her,
Guns, Germs, and Smallpox by PBS.org.
Because right now they're rushing through that.
Eternal Return.
So they might have to
Program.
condense their piece down a little bit.
Porque nosotros
able to slow
somos
that
los que
down, 'cause that's
intentemos
important.
alegrar.
I don't mind the titles being
So listen.
a little bit faster than the text of the intro,
When
but I
the
do think that
pandemic
make sure you say
happened,
each one different,
we were
especially
all
the articles
worried.
this way, the prose, blah
No,
blah blah
we
blah blah.
weren't
Like
sure
have a
we were
little
going
something
to do.
different for
Do
each
we go
one.
to
That
work?
way
What
it shows that
happens
you're
when we get
conscious
there?
as you're delivering them. It's not just
You know,
autopilot.
sometimes
So what she said,
I
student,
think that
the
they
younger
think that
students
we
who
are
are starting is
cheap labor.
anytime you have a list, each word has to say, be said
You know, they can't
differently.
just tell us that we have
Okay.
to go to work. You know, like if they
I
own
love
us.
this character.
He says, as millions cut out their Spanish tongues and close their veins that flow back to their gente, the 1940s Braceros program still carries my abuelo's fingerprints and the soil of Oxnard, bringing thousands of Mexicanos to work the campos of Vernote for more than they are used to, but less than they deserve. A whistleblower in 2018 came forward describing forced sterilization of women at ICE facilities by doctors. What was uncovered was far worse than anyone ever expected.
Wow.
They told me that I needed to go in for a procedure. But I just told them that I felt a little pain in my stomach. That it really wasn't much of anything. Really. But they said that I needed to get a procedure. There were many people who asked me how many children I had. They wanted to know their ages and if they had crossed in the US with me. But the nurses kept looking at each other when I told them I had 4 who were back home. And they told me that I needed to lay back and take off all of my clothes, and I kept asking them why. Why?
she's really
Why?
good at
What were they going to do to
visualization.
me? The clash between the
I
two
love when she
brothers
said
emerged as
this
Tezcatlipoca,
Ooh.
urging Quetzalcoatl to enforce justice onto the beings that destroy the people of this land, to bring an end to the repeating cycle. But Quetzalcoatl, being a peaceful king, refused,
Man.
ultimately having Tezcatlipoca. But Tezcatlipoca is a vengeful god.
She's doing great here, but the
White backs
previous
burdened
character-
with the mounds of
You're
gold at the
absolutely right, the way she
expense
plays
of the
it.
Indígena,
You
the
look forward to that one
Africano,
coming
and
back,
vast
Yeah.
borders
Right.
created at the
Yep.
Treaty of Hidalgo constructed a wall to separate us from them. On the television screen everywhere, United States 2016, he says
Great visual.
that a nation without a wall is not a nation. As he envisions it spreads across 55 feet of cold concrete, smooth and fused of red, white, and blue, because spending $14.4 billion on border enforcement is not enough. Having thermal sensors to detect the heat coming off of panted figures is not enough. Shooting hull-point bullets expanding at the impact of human flesh is not enough. Operation Gatekeeper San Diego, Operation Safeguard Tucson 2014, Operations El Paso Hold the Line 2017 is not enough.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Destiny, bring it. Bring it. Look at that.
And now I can't have any more children. Those doctors, those men,
It's natural. I believe it.
they took everything away from me. I asked for asylum. I didn't ask for this. I was running away from a life of death. They took everything away. They gave me no choice. The Spanish in the 1500s gave the people of this land no choice.
Yeah. That character is.
Is anything any really different now? We went out there anyway.
And you can tell she's in a completely different story
Yep.
right now.
You know, what choice did we have? We go to work or we lose our jobs. You know, most of us can't even get benefits from the government anyway. We didn't get those things that everybody else got. We didn't get to stay home. We stayed here and we worked. And you know, and sometimes I wonder for what. 55 feet of cold concrete that runs from the Pacific to the Gulf. Tell us your dishonor names and we will testify.
Beautiful.
Aquí descansa.
Look at that.
Aquí
That was
descansa.
artistic right there. Most people just look from one side to the other side.
Descansa.
The way she did it.
Oye, listen. With an obsidian black knife, Tezcatlipoca carved a gash onto the world to destroy the beings and to release packs of jaguars to destroy the beings that brought an end to the people of this land and the sun. No longer shall he stand idle to watch it burn again. I'm sorry, brother. But the cycle ends here.
Yeah. Go, Destiny.
That was good. That was good.
Yes.
Ooh, you know what? It's a powerful, powerful piece. Because she really brings it.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I felt like it took her about a good minute and a half to get warmed up.
Yes.
And then once she got warmed up, she went. So the key for her, I would look in a ballot and explain, we need to figure out a way on how you can get that energy from the get-go and take us through it.
Yeah.
What was your thought?
She did amazing. You can tell she's a seasoned performer because she's very intentional about a lot of the things that she does. However, I think the biggest thing that I want to see her do is the blocking. While it is clean, there are a lot of sections where I think it can be bigger to give us a bigger contrast.
Yes.
You know, throughout the piece. And so I know that, and it's something that her and I have even talked about. I'm like, it's good up right now, but where it's gonna go.
Oh, Yeah.
is amazing. So the blocking I want bigger, and there's a couple good times where she shows tension in her hands or in her arms, which is something that I always work with the students on. I'm like, because if you're holding something, you're not just gonna hold it like this, you're gonna hold it with weight, right? She needs to add that into the bigger blocking as well, but she knows these things already. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be, and she's gonna develop, and she's an extremely hard worker, and that's what's going to put her over the edge and get her to hopefully another national final round.
National final.
And you know what's interesting is these first two speakers that we've had. You couldn't. I mean, these three speakers were all at a tournament together, and they ended up finishing first, second, and third. But you put these three speakers at three different tournaments, they could potentially win each tournament.
Oh yeah, easily.
Hands down. So I think they're ready for her in the studio.
Yep.
Go ahead, take it away. They're going to talk to Miss Destiny.
Oh my God, mija, me tienes chillando, llorando. That was a beautiful representation of our culture. Can you talk to us a little bit more about how you feel you're doing really well with this performance?
So I just really enjoy that I'm able to bring aspects of my culture and my family's ancestral history back into the community of speech and debate. So I really enjoy that. I love to do that.
Perfect. And for those people that are looking at your performance, what things do you want to improve?
So I definitely want to improve on my characterization and making sure that my blocking is a lot more clean and better well developed.
Perfect. All right. So watch out for nationals because Destiny's coming for you, everyone.
Excellent work. These first two young ladies, man, they've done a great job. But they're putting a lot of work into this. This doesn't happen overnight. So there's a lot of coaching time that's been going on, but it's also individual time that they use. Our next speaker is Stephanie Estrada. Stephanie Estrada started competing at Via Fundamental in Santa Ana, California, and now she competes for Century High School. What she says is that this is something that has been life-changing for her, but it's also been life-changing for her family. She says, my mom is always telling people about all the places that I travel to, where I compete, and she says she works really, really hard, and I have a feeling that this is what keeps her going. You know, so she's an individual with another one with a tremendous heart. And I said, if you had to dedicate this performance to someone, who would you dedicate it to? And don't start crying, Miss Sarah.
No.
She said, I would like to dedicate it to all the students who don't have a speech program at their school. So, I mean, you know her.
One of my first students, ever. Via was one of my first schools. So, she's really a baby student of mine. And so I just can't wait to watch this. I'm so excited.
And, you know, traditionally, she does really good with silence. So I want to see what she does with that. Anyhow, let's go ahead and take it away. Our third speaker of this final round is from Century High School, Miss Stephanie Estrada. Take it away.
On November 1st, place upon my altar a photo so that I may be remembered physically in life. Do not cry for my lost soul. I am not lost at all. Death is no more than a continuation of life. So on November 1st, place upon my altar not only photos to help guide my way back on my journey, but place candles for those who are blind to injustices. On February 9th, Ingrid Escamilla was skinned and killed by her alleged partner. Welcome to the land of the dead. Please have all offerings ready for re-entry. If you're experiencing travel issues, agents in the Department of Family Reunions are available to assist you. And remember to return before sunrise. They are called skin. They are called body. They are called meat. Called the dead that nobody knows. Nobody saw that they killed, called women. Who go out alone at night to bars, called working women. Who leave their houses at dawn. In this cooking process, you must remember the strength and power of
Characters are so distinct.
life. Ingredients. Quarter of a roasted
Everything.
onion, 2
Yeah.
roasted
Facials.
garlic cloves, 4
Pattern
sweet
of
chilies,
talk.
The way
2
that
dozen
they
roasted
stand, the way that they
chicatanas,
gesture,
and freshly
the curl of
picked
the
mint.
listen.
My love,
Look at it. The one.
please don't be afraid. But there will come a day when field mice play in our empty sockets. There will come a day when our bones become homes for living creatures. There will come a day when sisters, daughters, mothers, aunts, their bodies scorched, hands tied, bitten, breast bones polished by the desert sand. And remember, to return before sunrise.
I love it.
Enjoy your visit.
I love it. Bring us home. Bring us home.
Octavio Paz, Mexico's most celebrated 20th century poet, told the New York Times, Mexico's relationship with death is an intimate one, more intimate than other people. According to Global Citizen, on January 26, 2021, 2/3 of women in Mexico have experienced some form of violence in their lifetime.
Wow.
They also mentioned that 940 women were murdered in 2020 alone.
Wow.
Femicide activists honor these women by carrying their pictures to protest and writing their names on government property. From Dia de los Muertos to the feministas fighting for my sisters, death isn't an ending, but rather a beginning for something revolutionary. So using the poetry, The Smiling Flowers by Reyes Knox, The Dead by Maria Rivera, Chicatanas for Mourning, A Recipe by Ellen Pelez Lopez, Death Poem by Alicia Harris, sections from the movie Coco, the articles These Women Survived Domestic Violence published by Amnesty International, and in Mexico, Women Speak Against Femicide by the New York Times, and the prose, Emergent Strategies by Adrienne Marie Brown.
She started off
I
fast, but
present
then
to
she did
you
what I said.
What she did.
Dia de
What she
las
did what I said
Muertas.
is she made them sound different. And she paid
performance.
attention to the titles and the authors. So
Honoring
she slowed down
those-
towards the end. So it was good. She kind of took a little.
As they continue to look after
Did you
us.
see that?
Dia de los
Honoring
Muertos
those.
has begun.
Pause.
So on November
Who
1st,
continue to look after us.
place upon my
It's timely.
altar
I had chills the whole
photos
event, so.
Timely,
of the
timely.
indigenous of Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, and Venezuela. Place upon my altar all the foods I enjoyed so much in my lifetime. Tacos de carne asada, tortas, tamales, and pan de muerte. Please place the chicatanas, garlic cloves, 3 chilies, and a slice of onion
so
in a
good.
molcajete
A
and
real
grind
good
them together.
actor.
Feel free
Really
to
good.
add a
This is a great
pinch
event
of
for her.
tears.
To showcase what she can do.
Meanwhile, open up Twitter and search Ni Una Menos.
It's the
And you
the way
will
she pressed on the
encounter
keyboard.
one of the many afterlives
I love
of
it.
colonialism in the Americas. Most recently, Maria.
Oh, new character.
That was so clean.
I fell in love with a wonderful guy, my Prince Charming. It was the perfect relationship. Until one day, he put his hands around my neck and started strangling me. Like he was possessed, he said to me, I will kill you. On February of 2019, Maria de Zumido's case
We could do that a little
reclassified.
bit better.
as a
A little
femicide.
bit better.
Place upon
But
my
when she
altar
does it right, that's going to be a powerful moment.
a
too.
photo, so that I may be remembered. While the salsa sits in its aromas, stand her photo on top of a flat adobe brick. Arrange white candles on opposite ends, and as you light them, say her name, Juana.
Come on, purse.
That purse was amazing.
In my case, it started as verbal abuse. We were having a conversation, and at some point, it escalated. He grabbed me by the hood of my sweatshirt, threw me out the door, got on top of me, started strangling me, and I look up at him, and he says, Look at what you made me do. The body of the 25-year-old victim was found dismembered, and her male partner was accused of the brutal crime. Place upon my altar a photo so that I may be remembered. If we believe in life after death, then I often wonder why we assume the dead like coffins, when people were never meant to live in boxes. Place upon my altar photos of the women from Juarez who have disappeared without a trace so that their faces may be remembered. Scoop a few tablespoons of the salsa you just made onto
What
a
this
small
does
plate
is she has us at this emotional
and
level.
offer the salsa
When she does this,
to
she lets
all
us
the
breathe.
murdered women,
Yep,
Maria,
it's comedic.
Juana, Carolina,
Yes.
Petra,
Yep.
in the afterlife
She lets us
of
breathe
colonialism.
and
One
just to be
woman
ready
must
for the
announce the
next
murder of sisters,
major
daughters,
story
mothers,
she's gonna
aunts.
give
If
us.
you want
Here we
this
go.
recipe to work, you must commit to this cooking process. There they come. The dead that they found hanging from bridges, the ones that without heads that they found in Ejido lands, the ones without names that they butchered, and they still can't find the legs, the arms, the heads.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's beautiful. She's not saying one thing, but she's saying it with her nonverbals.
Our situation today
Gosh, dang it, that was great.
feels so terrifying. And exhausting. And sometimes hopeless.
You see that she has
But
hair
we
going down her cheek there.
are creating a world where each of our bodies is treated like sacred ground. My love, please don't be
That was a good one.
afraid. There exists a place where we can still be beside each other. I know it does. There exists a place where, so on November 1st, does one cry in the fall when the trees lose their leaves and then wither? Does one cry when flowers no longer blossom? No. It is understood that this is life. We are saddened, but we do not cry. We rejoice when spring comes and all is new. Rejoice my death, as if I will return. They are called skin. They are called body. They are called meat. They are called people. They are called us. So on November 1st, place upon my altar all the things I enjoyed so much in my lifetime. But do not cry, for I am watching.
Go ahead.
I can't.
We are watching. Do not cry for our lost souls. We are not lost at all.
I'm glad we're in a studio.
Yeah.
Death is no more than
Whew. If we were judging in a room
a
full of students,
continuation of life.
it would be a hot mess.
Hot mess with tissues. Wow.
That was beautiful.
Wow.
That was beautiful. And you know, I'm gonna. I know you need a little moment to kind of get yourself going again, but Man, it was a powerful, powerful performance. And you know, everyone, Ashley Andrade, all three Destiny performed well. But there is something that's happening here with these young ladies, with Ashley Andrade and with Destiny Ceja. They're both seniors, and they've been doing this this is their 5th year.
Destiny and Stephanie.
Destiny and Stephanie. And so what happens with them is that they have this extra mileage of life,
Yeah.
where they understand the piece just a little bit more, and they're able to convey it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what separates the two seniors from Ashley Andrade, who's a sophomore, who's obviously an amazing performer.
Right.
But these two have something, you know, that they bring in. Now I thought when I saw Destiny, I thought, you know, what's going to beat this? Because Destiny's just so clean, so sharp, and the whole bit. And then she came in, and the realism that she brings to this, and you believe her. You believe her. I mean, what was your thought?
That her, like I said, in the middle of it, her characters are amazing. Her transitions in and out of every piece are really great. But I think my favorite thing about this performance, and something that Stephanie has really grown in, is really giving us those human moments, those little things that we do with our hands, those little things that we do when we're scared. And she makes them into real people. They're not characters. They're real people. They're like, oh my gosh, I do that when I'm sad. Or my sister looks like that. My grandma looks like that when she grinds this up. And she really gives us that. So it doesn't even feel like a performance. You feel like you're just watching people.
You're just watching. And you know, and honestly, I sat here and I just thought, what an absolute privilege for us to get to watch young people do this and put it together. The messages that they're giving is why it's so important for minority districts, for districts of color, to offer this to their students, because it allows for not only the student to speak about what's important to them and their culture and what they're seeing in their society, but it also gives mainstream America an understanding of who they are. Does that make sense?
All at the same time.
So, but I think they're ready they're waiting on us. So let's go ahead to the other studio for that interview with Miss Stephanie.
Wow. Fantastic job, Mija. I'm so glad that you're back in the circuit. How does it feel to be back?
Being back, it means a lot, especially, I just felt like what was missing during that time I was gone is finally back.
And anything that you want to improve before you start heading to nationals?
I definitely want to work on just cleaning things up, definitely like sharper transitions, more characterization. But I really want to make sure that the feeling is still there and that I get my message across.
An ambitious student that's coming for all of you. Watch out.
Wow. Well, this is going to be interesting with the judges, but here's what I want to do.
Okay.
I want to do this. I'm going to give you a sheet of paper. I'm
Okay.
going to ask you to write who you thought won.
Okay, don't look.
Don't show me.
Okay.
Because I want to see what happens after the judges make their decision. So I'm going to see who you thought. Fold it so I don't see it. I'll give
Okay.
mine,
Okay.
and then we'll go from there.
I'm gonna slide it like that. There you go, don't look.
Here we go.
Okay.
But before we disclose who we thought, let's send it over to our judges.
Our first judge is Clarabelle Gomez, who right now works for Advantage Communications. She's deeply involved with Hacienda La Puente. She has just started the Anaheim Elementary School District, starting putting them together. She was also on my 2014 Fullerton National Championship squad. So Ms. Clarabelle, tell us, who did you think won this round?
This was a really hard decision, but I'm going to go with Stephanie Estrada. I think she did a fantastic job of blending characters, showing emotion, and really just playing around with like the fun, the dark, the vibrant characters and layering them in together. Ashley Andrade and Destiny did amazing. Both had very raw emotion and incredible introductions, but ultimately it was the way that Stephanie played with the characters that won me over.
Great. Well, thank you for that. So we have one judge. Go ahead, Miss Sarah.
Yes, let me go ahead and do it. All right, and our next judge is Mike Davis, my former teammate from the national championship winning Orange Coast College. Mike is amazing. He specializes in everything. He does a little bit of everything, and the kids love him for that. He definitely is the director at Buena Park, and he just does limited prep, platform, interview, name it, Mike Davis can coach it. Okay, so Mike, can you please tell us, who did you choose?
You can't start off flattering me like that, Sarah. This was a really challenging round, though, because these are all powerful students that I've had years and years of experience working with. In this specific round, though, I'm going with Stephanie Estrada. She, like y'all said earlier, masters the use of silence and the effective way of communicating internal thoughts and monologue. That, for me, is what makes a standout performer in events like POI and poetry. Destiny and Ashley capture their characters really, really well, and I'm always blown away by their performances as well. This was a really hard round, and I'm always honored as a person to be able to watch and witness these performances.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Mike. I really appreciate it. And I need to hear from our upstate New York hometown coach who also competed for Bradley University, the Harvard of the Midwest. Now, there's something unique about Josh Beckles. Is number one, he was a high school national champion high school national finalist. To me, you were always a champion, Josh, just so you know. Just so you know. But he's a national finalist, high school national finalist, and a multiple national champion at the college circuit. And he helped Bradley University win multiple national championships. So Josh, you've been on high school and college. Tell us what you thought.
The performances were incredible. They were so beautiful. All the performers gave amazing blocking, amazing characterization. But my winner was Stephanie, and that was mostly because she had incredible genre differentiation. So like in POI, the biggest things I look for are like, can I see your prose? Can I see your poetry? Can I see your drama? Are they separate? And she did an immaculate job of making sure that each one was different, and I could tell as I was watching them. So that's why she's the winner. They were all incredible.
Well, thank you all for your time. I mean, we were blown away.
Yeah.
We were blown away. We should have had a box of tissues. We said for the next show, we have DI. We're definitely bringing tissues, right? You know what I'm saying? So anyhow, I want to thank all of our judges. I want to thank all three of you for the work that you do, for making our students, creating champions out of our students and believing in all of our students. You go into some difficult districts and our students look like superstars. So thank you for everything you do. Thank you for taking the time on your day off to judge around and give us some insight. So thank you once again. And we're going to talk this over here because I know Baby T has something to say about this too.
Oh boy.
All right, thank you, judges. Now it's time to see the people that really make the decision. No, I'm just teasing. So I'm gonna have you. Well, first let me open yours up first.
Okay.
So let's see. You thought. Oh Lord. Agreed with the judges. You thought Stephanie won that round.
And let's see. And you thought Stephanie also won the round.
I think she won it. I mean, I think everyone got it right on this one. Good job. Uh-oh. Do you hear that? Do you hear the pounding?
Oh Lord. Oh man.
I think Baby T's like, what about me?
Oh.
What about me? He wants to put
Say
something
something,
in here.
yeah.
I'm sure he does. Is Baby T, did he eat already? Because I don't want him in here grumpy.
Am I coming on soon? I'm ready.
All right, let's go to Baby T.
Ooh, I got a lot to say today. Oh my goodness. First and foremost, I completely disagree with all of you. Every single one of you. I don't know what performances you guys are watching. Look, I got to tell you this right now. Ashley Andrade, by far, one of the top newcomers to the high school scene. It's only her second year. She competes at a high level. I give you that. And you know what? She still has some development, and that's going to continue, I agree, as she gets older and she has more mileage. She's going to be able to relate with that. But these other two, Destiny Ceja, before I go to Destiny, let me go to Stephanie Estrada. Because Stephanie Estrada took a whole semester off during COVID, and she still came back stronger than she did before. So I don't want to take anything away from Stephanie Estrada, because Stephanie Estrada knows how to compete. We saw it here. I shed a little tear. Actually, I shed a lot of tears. But anyway, she did good. But How can you guys vote against Destiny Seha? Destiny Seha! Destiny Seha, fourth best in the nation, automatic qualifier to nationals. You mean to tell me that she wasn't number one? Inquiring minds want to know.
Oh, Baby T. She was fourth in the nation in dramatic interpretation. This is program oral interpretation, completely different event. I'm not saying that Destiny Seha didn't do a great job. She did an amazing job. She did an amazing job, and it was a difficult pick. At least it was for those of us watching. That would have been a difficult pick. But I mean, I got to tell you, I mean, you can't say that there's something wrong with the judging here when all my judges are either national finalists or national champions. Every single one of them.
I agree. They don't have to agree with me. But why wasn't I put on the judging panel? See, right there, that's all kinds of isms. That is ageism, that is heightism, that is voiceism. It's all kinds of isms. I should have been on that panel because maybe I could have talked some sense into letting people know what they should be looking for. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, Baby T. Listen, if you can act like a grown-up, then maybe I'll let you judge. I still think you have some development to go through. I mean, what are you, crawling now, right? So, but let's do this. Can we just be proud and happy? These schools went all the way out to Illinois. They competed at Bradley University, and the top 3 POIs were from Santa Ana schools, where it all got started. So can we at least celebrate that? Can we be happy about that?
Well, okay. I guess you're right. All right, I'll see y'all next time, though. I better be on that panel next time, though. That's all I gotta say. Peace, 2 fingers.
And Baby T always has some opinions.
Always something to say.
Always something to say. But this was a great show, Sarah. I appreciate everything you've been doing for students this whole time and the work that you do. Look at what's coming up here. Is you're changing lives, and I really appreciate all of you who participated, the judges, the crew, our interviewers, everyone that was a part of this. It was a great success. I hope you can use this as a tool to teach kids how to perform a POI, or any, quite frankly,
Any interpretation event?
interpretation event. So thank you so much. It's always great to have Miss Sarah with us, but we just have to say goodbye, right, Miss Sarah?
Bye. Time to go.
Time to go. Keep practicing.